Okay, everybody, let's try this again. Goodness gracious. All right, we are on the rapid transit, the BR1442 Talent 2. I was going to do the extended 2021 service timetable. But for whatever reason, we are not getting any kind of power to the train. We get power, but we cannot move. So we are just going to try this one instead. And let's get our lights on. We don't need the cabin light on. We can just have that. And let's get CIFA. He said B. Alright, hopefully this works this time. Sorry about that, folks. I thought we'd resolved the issue with Twitch and the issues with the issues with the stream being stable enough to. All right, let's go ahead and get the door shut while we're almost ready to depart. So let's see if we can get the train moving this time. Now we cannot still, for whatever reason, input station information into the PIS system for the passengers. No, this one, the brakes are not releasing all the way. I wonder if there's a glitch of some kind. Now I'm not getting any power at all. Oh, what in the world is going on? Alright, so the pantograph was not raised. Alright, now we're good. Now we're moving. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get this released so we can speed up. All right, we're finally underway. Oh, great, Mick! How'd you find his streams? Or did did you enjoy him? I've gotten into bad habits because of the. So I'm so used to going in and out of the cab using the little double square button on my controller because of Flight Sim. That's how I go in and out of the cab, so I've gotten used to that. That's why I keep pulling up the map. Anyway, alright, we're finally back underway. Wow! Only 6 minutes into the stream and I get the frickin' Twitch bot. You want to become famous? Oh my goodness gracious. Alright, so we have a... We can acknowledge that. Why am I not able to go quicker? Alright, well, we'll be a little bit late. Oh, well, it is what it is. Anyway, well, that's good. I'm glad, hopefully you found that to be a good, useful thing. Now, speaking of Flight Simulator, after yesterday's flight, I posted into the forums asking, am I am I making some mistakes on, coming into, approach or whatever? Why would this have happened? And I talked about what happened the day before with the flight going into Nice, that all my screens suddenly shut off. Oh, good, Mick. Good. Now, the problem is that it seems that there's a glitch in the system, that even if you have all the information put in there and whatnot, it may not recognize all the information. So, like, for instance, for whatever reason, it didn't recognize that we were supposed to be coming in. I'm leery about going faster than 55 because I don't know. It's been a while since I've been on this route, and that's why I decided to do it today. So we're going to be exceptionally late, I think, unless we can really speed up and try to make up a little bit of time. So yeah, from what people said, it's just a problem with the system. It's a known issue. Oh wow, now I got to worry about braking in time. I think it'll be okay. So yeah, we are going to basically hold off on jetline. Like, one person said that they haven't flown jetliners since discovering the issue, that it's not, there's no, for some people I guess there's just no fun in it because there's all these problems. So some people have sworn off any kind of major, flying any of the jet planes until those issues are hopefully resolved. Now, do we only have... Yeah, we only have this one train. Alright, we're a few minutes late, but we'll just get in here, and it is what it is. Yeah, apparently, according to what... So, the system didn't recognize... It still thought we were supposed to be flying at 38,000 feet, and it refused to listen to reason until we had to basically do the descent ourselves and then request a different approach. So it sounds like now I think there's a way that you can put in your flight plan manually. So, like, say we're at LAX, for instance, and we go to Sacramento, we can put in the waypoints manually. And that may fix the problem, but it's hit and miss from what I gathered. It's all pretty much just speculation. Good morning again, Daniel. Sorry about that. The Twitch decided to have its morning conniption, and everything seemed fine at first, and then all of a sudden when I looked up and Mick said it's buffering, and then I looked down and I had no feed whatsoever. Like, Twitch just gave up on me, so I don't know. I thought I had the issue resolved, but apparently not. Alright, so we are going to make sure we keep an eye out for those speed boards here along the side. Now, this is a good route. This is the route that I learned PZB on. Why am I getting that? Why did that come on? That's kind of weird. There's no speed reduction or anything. We don't have a yellow. See, now it's saying it again. Like I'm violate. I don't know. Something's changed since I've last been on this route. I don't know. So I guess they don't want me going over 100 kilometers an hour now. Which means we're going to be really, really late getting to Marca. So it's all good technology. Yeah, exactly. Well, we tried to do a different service on the 2021 timetable, and we could not get the train moving. Like, we had power, but the train wouldn't move at all. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know if that's because of the update or if there's something else happening. It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyways, so yeah, no Airbus. I need to go back and review how to put all the information in manually. I think the jetliner tutorial kind of talked a little bit about that, I feel like. But I don't know really what the... Jeez Louise, I can't get up any quicker because this little safety thing starts popping on like we're going excessively fast, even though we have a 120 limit. I don't know, are we coming into seeing, is there another train in front of us or something? No. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely going to be late. Well, that's what somebody recommended when I put the thing in yesterday, and I just said, I'm just making sure I'm not doing anything wrong. Did I not hit the, should I have hit the approach button, and that should have descended us to 29,000? Whatever the case may be. And they said, no, it's just, even though you've got all, when you pick your departure and your destination and you go IFR, whether it's high or low altitude, for whatever reason, sometimes the system won't accept that you are in the sort of certain things should be happening, and it was like the plane was ignoring it. Still thought, no, I need to fly at 38,000 and I don't care what's being put in the system. So it just seems like there's a bug of some kind. Somebody suggested that the workaround is you put in, you can dial in the ILS frequency manually. You can look it up again, but the problem is sometimes if I remember correctly, and I'll have to pull it up at some point, but it seemed like when you do that, then air traffic control thinks that you're wanting to go to a different airport. And so it'll route you somewhere else. For whatever reason. So, yeah, it just seems like there's Oh, okay. Sounds good, Daniel. So I don't know that even putting things in manually or, verifying the approach information somehow is going to fix anything either. It's rather suspect at this point, I think. So, I don't know if there's a patch on the way. I'm sure the developers are aware of the issue. I'm assuming. So, I'm sure they're reading all the stuff in all the forums. So, I don't really know. So, we're going to go back to the Cessna 172. Now, this morning when I when I went into Flight Sim just to kind of tinker around a little bit before we got started here, there is a better version. So there's an up version of the Cessna. It's the 182. It's got a little bit bigger or more powerful engine. So I put that on my wish list of planes to buy. I still want to, so if I can get that one and the Spitfire, that would be fantastic. When next week. Although, so there's like, I got a lot of things on the plate purchase wise. I want to get the season's pass for so we can get Boston Sprinter, and then hopefully the Dresden route. I know they released some photos of the route. I think Joe did a quick video about that. It looks really good. Looks like we are getting a lot of, well, it appears, I don't know, seems like we're getting quite a bit of services with it, passenger and freight. Some of the trains are all things that we are familiar with from German routes to be already, so yeah. Try to get some speed up here again. Oh, we'll never make up the time now. Goodness gracious. I was really hoping, I mean, the route looks good with the update, obviously. I was really hoping that we were going to get a, that, everything would work out fine, but it appears that that's not the case. Unless there was something I did wrong. I don't know. I might have to tinker around with that. Yeah, see, now it says I get that S marker. So I can't even go up to 120 kilometers an hour for some reason. Like, it's limiting me to like about 100 kilometers an hour. So I'm not even able to go full speed. So I don't know if that's a problem also. Oh, boy. I wonder, well, maybe we just need to turn PZB off. There might be a glitch in the PZB. When we get to Jesnitz, we'll take the PZB off and just run SIFA. Yeah, if we can't... Oh, we do have a reduction in speed coming up too. We're going downhill, but we're slowing down. That makes no sense. I mean, we're not in Bizarro World, so I don't know why a downhill is suddenly uphill. Makes no sense. So yeah, I've got a short flight, just about an hour. We're gonna fly along. We're gonna go into the coast, the Gulf Coast of Texas. Got a nice little airport there. So hopefully, it's going to be. Now we got a 1,000 hertz magnet, so we got to really get on the brakes here. Otherwise, the safety system. So yeah, we're just going to disengage that for the rest of the trip, I think. Once we get to our destination, or morning, Amela. So yeah, it should be a nice little flight. We'll have some, you know what? Just for our own sort of learning experience. We're not gonna churn we're not going to just have nice weather this time. We're just going to fly whatever's there. We're going to fly it. We'll change our altimeter readings as needed. So yeah, we'll give that a shot. Just to kind of spice things up just a bit. So that's what we'll do today. We have to try to do a flight together going to different airfields. Now, I don't... Oh, Lord. We're fine. Why is... Oh, come on. I tell you, this is... I hope this is not an indication of things to come today. I gotta reset the brakes. Yeah, we're just gonna turn off the PZB because I think there's a glitch. Good afternoon, Bex. Welcome. So we are on the rapid transit line, Dessau to Leipzig-Connewitz. And the silver liveried green doors. A little bit of yellow there. That is the... Oh, there's a service going towards Dessau. Bella, do you know... Train surfing with Mr. Brammer, yeah. Do you know if there's like a problem on rapid transit right now? I mean, I don't think many people are playing it because it's just one of those original routes that a lot of people just never particularly cared too much for, but the PZB system is just really weird today. And I don't know if there's been a change to it or if there's a glitch of some kind, but I just know we're just going to go turn that off. Yeah, that way we just don't have to worry about it. We just worry about SIFA, which is okay. Yeah, plus I tried to do a service on the 2021 timetable and couldn't get the train moving even though we had power. The brakes were all off and everything. The pantograph was raised, but could not get any movement at all on the train. So... Oh, so it put me into emergency brake and I can't release it somehow. Or something maybe, I don't know. That's rather odd. Yeah, we had like two of these trains together to go to Leipzig-Connewitz and yeah, I couldn't get the train moving at all. It's really so okay, that's part of the problem then. It puts it into an emergency brake situation and you can't get out of it, I guess. Alright, well, we'll just keep PZB off for right now. Maybe that's the only way to run it. Alright, there's our next speed. Acknowledge that. Yeah, so this is the route. I learned PZB. What I did is I went the same way 5 times. I think I've told this story before. That was the best way for me to learn it, and I kept, I would make a mistake, I wouldn't acknowledge something, and I'd be like, what did I miss? And, so I'd go back and look, and... We got a 140 here. So I'm wondering if maybe then if I try the 2021 timetable, I'll have to do that maybe later off the stream, since we've already had enough issues today trying to get this thing going, and Twitch doing its thing, and which I thought the issue had been resolved, but apparently not. So yeah, we'll have to I'll have to look into that afterwards or something. So yeah, we're 172 flight today. Boy, the passengers are taking their sweet time loading up. Probably because we're late and they're just like grumpy. Yeah, we're just going to get the minimum now on our points. We're going to be lucky if we get a silver out of this. Alright, we got a reduction to 120 coming up. We don't have to worry about acknowledging the boards or anything because we got the TSW off, so we're okay. Yeah, last night we had a bit of a thunderstorm in the area. It's supposed to, I think, storm again today. We didn't get like a huge downpour. It was just like a minor inconvenience, but I could hear the thunder, and I think there was a bit of lightning here and there, but it wasn't nearly that bad. Hello, welcome back, Daniel. Oh, I feel discombobulated now. We've had all these issues this morning. Oh, we need to nail some stops here to try to keep our points up. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble. So you got a very small first class area here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seats in first class. I think you got a first class at the other end as well, maybe? Nope. Wow. I wonder what's the price difference between the two for 6 seats. I mean, I can't imagine that it's super cheap, but I'm curious what the difference in price tickets. But these seats don't look very comfortable, to be honest. You're welcome, Daniel. You're welcome. So yeah, no, for I think until the foreseeable future, we're gonna have to steer clear of the. Now I don't know. Now this is the big question, and I guess I'd have to maybe kind of tinker around myself at some point off stream. I don't know if that problem only affects the A320 or if it affects all jetliners. You know, I know that the Dreamliner probably has, I think it has a much different system as far as the putting in the information for your flight plan, the all the waypoints and all that kind of stuff. So I don't really know if I tried the Dreamliner, if I'd have any success with that instead of the A320. So I guess I'm going to have to try an experimental flight with that to see what happens. So, yeah, I don't know. This is a really weird sort of situation to be in. That, yeah, that too, Mick. But I think it's more of the airport seems to think that we're a larger plane than we really are, for whatever reason. Like, you know, it thinks we're like a commuter jet versus, or you know, like or an Airbus 320, you know, but maybe they think we're a Cessna, one of the Cessna jets versus a prop that can't go up to 18,000 feet. It's beyond its limits, you know. It's not a safe operating altitude for that plane. So I don't know. I don't really know. So, I mean, like I said, I think the only thing I can do is a bit of homework, for lack of a better term. To see if the Dreamliner has the same problem. So, but I think I'm picking for the Cessna 172. I think I need to pick smaller airports versus a larger airport and see if that's part of, you know, we can fly with no, you know, silly request to go to an altitude that we cannot safely fly at. So, but again, that might just be a bug that they need to work out, that they need to patch or whatever, possibly. So yeah, there's so many unknowns because of that, you know. So I don't know what to think really, other than, you know, I'm just going to have to try it and see if all the information's there. I just got to figure out how to look it all up. I think I'd have to watch the flight that A320 the 320 pilot did with a Dreamliner pilot, and then go over, kind of figure out, okay, I have to look here, and this is where I find that the flight information is correct, the flight plan, all that kind of stuff. 160. Okay, so that's alright at our limit there. Yeah, it's like I gotta do some homework on it and see. But it might. I mean, the Dreamliner might be fine. But yeah, you bring up a valid point, Nick. But I think that's an airport issue now. That it seemed to think that we were a much. I mean, even though our flight plan said 8,000 was our cruising altitude, you know, why would it tell us to go way, way above our cruising altitude? If that's what's filed in our flight plan, I would think that that's what the system would go with, you know. But maybe there's just a bug. I'm guessing there is, of some kind. That's the only thing that makes any kind of sense. So I don't know. It's a very peculiar situation to be in, to try to figure out, is it, because, you know, for me, because I don't really know how the game works, and I'm learning as I go along, and so is everybody else, is the, you know, are we doing something wrong? Are we not pushing buttons at the right time, or did we push the wrong button at the right time, or the right button at the wrong time, or, you know, there's a lot of unknowns. So then it becomes, okay, am I contributing to the problem somehow? And if not, then it's a software issue with the game that is causing these sort of, you know, like the Cessna, oh, go to 18,000 feet. Well, the safe limit is 14,000. I can't go to 18,000. If I go to 18,000, the plane is essentially it's going to cause all kinds of problems. You know, it's not designed to operate at that altitude. So from everything I read, even though they won't give like a max altitude, 14,000, the manufacturer says 14,000 is the safe limit of the aircraft, safe altitude. Now, you know, maybe if an experienced pilot might say something different, that maybe 16,000 is safe as well, but, you know, you can start getting this, you know, there's a lot of variables, the weather, and all kinds of stuff, you know, how old is the airframe, and, you know, when's the last time that the systems have been updated, and, you know, all kinds of variables that, yeah, so... Well, I don't know if it was so much landing at a big airport, Mick, as it was taking off from a big airport. Or maybe taking off and landing at larger airports that think that you are a larger plane than what you really are. And so the simulator seems to think that you are a larger plane, that you have different capabilities for whatever reason. That's the only thing that I can think of, you know. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I mean, I've tried to, like, logically kind of, you know, and that's just sometimes who I am. I try to look at a logical approach as to why would this be happening, but, you know, because I'm still learning. Am I contributing to the problem? Am I doing something wrong? And if the answer is no, then it's obviously to me, then it's okay. It's a game. It's something in the software that tells the virtual air traffic controller that we are not the aircraft that we are. I mean, that's the only things that make sense to me. but I could be wrong. The thing is, in order to figure out what is really happening, that means I'm going to have to do a lot of flying off stream to try to pinpoint certain behaviors or certain things that either I'm doing or that's happening in the simulator that is kind of triggering these sorts of crazy sort of situations to take place. I mean, that's the only solution I can think to do, but I also feel like if I don't record it, right, if I don't stream it somehow, but then if I can, kind of like what happened with Richard that one time when he crashed into, there was that crazy situation on Long Island Railroad where there was no warning, and then he crashed into another train. The only thing we had weird was you had some passengers on the tracks, right? They were all kind of lined up like they were waiting on the platform, and then suddenly, bam, he rear ends another train in front of him. There was no don't speed or reduce your speed or stop here. There was no red light or nothing. So if he, when I was able to at least file a trouble ticket for him through Dovetail Games, which, in all fairness, that's something that he should have done himself, because it's his system, it's his stream, it was his game. But without that stream and being able to link that to them, then they would have, it would have been kind of like trying to describe something that, really didn't need to, they can see it themselves, and go like, okay, we need to investigate this and see if this is a problem. Is there was it just a weird one-off sort of situation, or is this a larger problem that needs to be addressed? So I kind of feel like if I stream it, or if I record it, then at least if I have to file a trouble ticket, then I have that information. I can give it over to them and say, this is what's happened. Can you guys look into it? Because they can look at all that information. They can look at what I was doing and say, okay, this is a software problem, or at this point in your flight, you should have done X, Y, and Z. So, yeah, I don't know, but that's a lot of time too, and yeah, it goes towards my flying hours. I'm getting close to the first 50 hours, and then we go to 100, and then it just builds up from there. But yeah, I don't know, and if the problems existed since the PC release last year, that's a bit troubling that they've not been able to figure out a solution to the problem. Or that they've not patched it. Because I would have thought that that's something they would have wanted to resolve before the game came out on the Xbox. So, and the way that, they said sometimes everything will work fine, and other times everything may just completely fail. The whole GPS system could go kaput, and you're left to kind of do everything really all on your own, which isn't the way it seems to be designed to do. I mean, yeah, the pilots probably have that knowledge, but we'd have to kind of go with what we think we know already, our sort of fall back on what we, just like in Train Sim World 2, if something happens, we fall back on what we think we know about the train system, and if I do these things and it'll reset the brakes and all this other stuff. And other times you do what you think you know and then it doesn't work. So I don't know. It's a very weird situation to be in, I think. So, but we'll do the 172 today. We're not going to change the weather. We're just going to fly it as is. I don't think, even with the hopefully we'll have some nice coastal scenes, even if it's kind of gray and yucky looking, but sometimes that's just how life is. So, but we'll try to make it interesting, for sure. But I think I've got a good flight planned. And the other thing too is for my own sort of knowledge base or whatever, there is I don't have to really get on the brakes here because we are going super fast coming into the station. I don't want to do an Amela. So far, we've been pretty lucky. The brakes have been really good. We haven't had to. We're not zipping past the station and, completely missing the platform. So, what was I going to say? So there is a logbook specifically designed for flight sim players that you could put a ton of information in about your flight so that you have a log. Now the game has a logbook, but you can't. The bad part is you can't go back and look at all the information for that flight. It's like you could just refly it and that's it. They don't give you the option of looking at, okay, let's look at all the waypoints and stuff like that and maybe pick a different approach. And maybe it's just the approach was broken, And there's so many variables in that game that it's hard to pick what the problems really are. So I really don't know. It's, I feel like, some people would say, well, it's like we paid to play a beta, I find it interesting. Normally, I think most passengers, if they're walking along the platform, they're supposed to be walking, in this area here. They're not supposed to be walking near, like along here. It just doesn't seem very safe, especially with a train getting ready to depart. But anyway. Alright. So I think we're about halfway. Oh, we still got a little bit to go. We'll go underground here pretty soon. So there's a longer TSW2 service there. Longer trains, got two of them together. So yeah, there may be some, and people, you don't have to come in to the stream if you don't want to. I may just have to stream it just so that I have that sort of, I can build up a baseline sort of troubleshooting, library to see what works and what doesn't. I need to go back and look at the tutorials about putting the information in. I'm going to have to write down all the, waypoints, and then, if we're on the ground at one airport, trying to figure out how to put all that information manually and see if that makes things work better on an A320 and even the Dreamliner. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird sort of situation to be in with a simulator that, you know, now you have to kind of find out what works and what doesn't. This is definitely one of those routes that once you're late, it's really difficult to get the time back. And part of that, I think, is because the passengers load exceedingly slow. So, yeah. But Mick, just thinking about what you wrote a moment ago, I think try it. Just try like a airport that you would think would generally service only like a Cessna Citation jet or something. But go in the 172 and see if it thinks that you're not what you really are. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it. Oops. And see if you get different results, maybe. Said that there's not enough tutorial for punching in your own number. Oh, see? Okay, well, there's a problem right there. I mean, I kind of feel like the Airbus pilot kind of went over that, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. I mean, but he may have maybe that's something that I guess if you really want to know how to set everything up yourself, I mean, I think that would be a fantastic, you know, thing that if somebody can, but I mean, that means that's a lot of time on the ground, right? So that means you have to at least at a minimum start up all your battery systems in order to get the computer spun up. But then you're plugging in a flight that you haven't filed a flight plan for. Like, yeah, I can see where that would be yeah, I don't know. That's kind of like, I know I'm guessing in the real world the airline files a flight plan with, you know, we're going from A to B today, and we're looking at this route, but of course that's subject to change based on weather or whatever. I guess then the only other option would be to just do a Dreamliner flight with the oops, you didn't have to go to one. I think there's one coming up to 100. Yep, right there. I remember this little side trip here. Yeah, I guess that's another option at some point. Maybe we'll do... Oh, you... Of course you had to stop just a little short of my 500. She had to put in the correct amount of fuel, looking at how many passengers were on board, how heavy the fuel was going to be. There was so much. Yeah, that's... And see, that's really getting in depth in the simulator. And it's something you have to kind of just... It's one of those things that you have... Like, when I watch some of those streams, like, before they even get in the air, it's almost like an hour and a half of just doing all that kind of stuff. And then they finally get, then they finally taxi out and take off. For some people, they understand that. I don't know. But I guess I'm talking about not so much like the number of passengers and the weight of the plane and balancing everything out. I'm talking about just the navigation itself seems to be an issue. That other part is a whole nother beast, I think. Alright, we're getting ready to go underground here in a moment. He was rolling down the runway. The game crashed. He was not... Oh, see? Yeah, there's a lot of... Yeah, there just seems to be some... Now, of course, I hate to say this, but some PC players would blame the fact that the game is now on the console, and the console thing has ruined it for everybody else on the PC. Whether or not that's true is irrelevant at this point. That's what people are going to believe. So it starts to divide the player base, that if you're a console player, you are substandard in some respect or something. The PC players have been playing this for over a year, or at least a year now, and they didn't have these issues until it came out on the Xbox. And very well, maybe that is part of the problem. I don't know. We can suspect and point fingers and all that other kind of stuff all we want, but we can't say with 100% certainty what's what caused what. It's no different than on Train Sim World when it was on the PC, but then they ported it over to the consoles, and that's when a lot of problems started, because the architecture, everything's significantly different. So I don't really know what to think anymore. And it may just be that that's not even the case, that people use that as an excuse to be angry about the way the game's playing right now. Oh, let's blame the consoles. Let's blame the console players for being there and not investing in a PC instead. So, I don't know. It's a very weird situation to be in, I think. So, I don't know. So our first underground station here. I do like that clock. Wow, these passengers are just taking forever. I find it interesting. This is not a typical sort of, it's like this bar. It's interesting. It's not like the normal line that we would have. Why would I need to unlock? Oh, come on! You got... Wow. That was well within the limits. It did not need me to unlock that door again. Everybody was on board. We were that close. The doors had... I don't know. This is just one of those days, I guess. Yeah, I really don't know what to... Well, I tell you, I'm hoping this is not a sign of things to come when we go on to Flight Simulator, that we're going to have another numpty flight. Man. I do kind of like this station. I think there's another one. I think it's the next one coming up that I like even more. But I like this wood sort of... I don't know if that's real wood or if that's... It looks like it. You got wood, you got this... It's like a brick almost. Yeah, really cool station. I guess I gotta wait till it says lock the doors. Mick, I'll let your hand go for now and give you a short break, but when we start flying again, back to holding. No need to hold hands. I have to admit, we've had some really good landings despite all the minor inconveniences that we've had to face with the system just suddenly, systems not working as intended. And oh, come on, I didn't mean to go into emergency brake. Ugh. Now that's interesting. The passengers got off, but they just disappeared from their chair. They just flashed off, and now I don't know if that's really them walking off or not. Nobody's brave enough to sit in the first class cabin. I don't like the horn on this thing. It's like this annoying beep. That's it. Daniel is still lurking. having his fish and chips, no doubt, or finished it already. So we know it's Saturday for sure, because that's the day that Daniel has fish and chips. And tomorrow will be Sunday, because that's the day he has usually roast. Yeah, this is one of my favorite stations here. This kind of a space age looking with all these lights and all that. I do like that one. Let's see what we got coming up next here. Sounds, yeah, it does. It does. It certainly does. I mean, maybe that's just how it sounds. I'm assuming, I would think that if that wasn't the real horn, that they would have gone and finally found a way to record the real one. But possibly, who knows? Usually, but not again this week. My parents are away. Oh, okay. So no roast on Sunday. Uh-oh. So then, Daniel, what happens when that's the case? Another train here. Dostos. With the 182, it looks like. Yep. Back in there. Power. So yeah, what do you do in that case there, Daniel? What's the Sunday dinner situation for you? I may have inadvertently read Daniel's comment as Amila's. I apologize, Daniel. Have you done wrong, Daniel? There seems to be going away a lot lately. I do see some sort of pattern there. Oh, man. Oh. Wow. Basically, it's what I can be bothered doing. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. So it looks like, I think after this station, then we got one more stop to make, and then we should be done. What time is it? It is almost 8. Okay. You know, it's weird how finicky this thing is. Just a smidge forward more, we probably would have gotten 500 points instead of 499. I mean, I would ask that of my parents. I think if I were living with them, like, you know, is something going on? If I done something to upset you that you feel the need to be away from me or something? What's going on? I mean, I think even, well, yep, next station is our final stop. Should be. Yep. So we will be wrapping this up. I'll be back in about an hour. They're away again towards the end of September. Oh. Yeah, see, my parents didn't really go out, or, you know, like if my mom went with my dad, like on a business trip or whatever, like when he was in Washington, D.C., she flew out there and they, you know, they got to go to the Smithsonian and, you know, stuff like that. But we had somebody stay with us while she was out of town. Even though I think we could have taken care of ourselves, but I don't think my mom, she felt more comfortable that an actual adult was there. So, yeah. Because there's just no way I would have been able to keep control of my younger brother. He's just too... I think that was my mom's bigger concern. Well, this has certainly been quite the journey today. Thank you all for coming in and hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. So I will be back on in roughly an hour for our flight sim flight. Well, that seems a little busy. Wow, it looks like it's like the passenger. Oh, look at that. That was kind of weird. He was like halfway through the the steps there on the landing. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't know what to expect anymore sometimes in this game. There we go. So, that should be that. We didn't even have to lock the doors. They just said, you're done. A bronze. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. A bronze. Oh, well. It is what it is. Anyway, I will see you all in an hour. Microsoft Flight Simulator. I will see you then. Until then.